style. They're mostly from Pretoria and Midrand. Let's check if it's not gonna work. So he wants.
Should I be in the middle? Yes.
Yeah, maybe you should. I can if I'm sitting there.
Yeah.
So I need to just get.
Are we
out
eating
of the chair? Well, we always do. So.
I need a bit of root.
I don't think this thing is well positioned. Woo!
Please pull it a bit back.
It hits right.
Oh, it hits the spot.
Please fix the camera. Is it better?
It's still. You.
Can I put it in the clip?
Are you? Are you okay?
Flops.
Okay. Cinema, we need to fix the camera.
Okay.
Because it's, right now it's
slanted.
Just a minute at the back.
Should be okay.
Same one.
Seems okay. No, fix it.
Fix it again. Hello everybody, we just like fixing the
Hello.
camera. Oh, hey, Makati.
Hello.
Yes, perfect. There.
Oh my god, my foot.
How's everybody doing?
Yo guys, we missed you, hey?
Happy Friday.
It's been a long week.
Friday.
Okay,
Oh, and last week next another one.
Yeah, last week we couldn't be live because, you know, the network was not our friend. I was so bored by the network in Balito. Like, the whole weekend, Jay, we couldn't even post properly.
Nothing.
We couldn't post, like, live, you know? Hello, Baratu.
Malang.
Yeah, so how was your week, right?
I had a very interesting week, contrary to last week. So yeah, it's been a good week. So I have a small announcement to make.
Okay, before we get to your announcement, Andrew, how was your week?
Oh, you were so busy, guys. Look, I tried to wind down a bit after the trip. I stayed indoors. I think it was it Sunday? No, Tuesday. Was it Monday? We came back on Monday. So yeah, on Tuesday I stayed in. I didn't move. I didn't go anywhere.
You did not move.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I was just hectic after that. Work, getting back to work again, and renovations at home. Yo.
What are you renovating now?
He's always renovating.
What are you doing now?
Bathroom.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
Yeah.
I had a hectic week. I had a very stressful week. I was moody probably most of the time at work.
Because
the happiest time was me leaving the office, which was like always after 8 this whole week. It was like punishment for taking Friday off, you know?
Oh, shit, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but it was a good week. It was payroll week. So
itlogile.
You deserve it. I'm gonna pay myself first.
Now, I think this is what finance always does, right?
They
always
pay
done
themselves
that. They pay themselves first.
Yeah.
So
Alright, so
shall
shall we get to your announcement?
My announcement, guys, it's not a very big announcement, and it's
it's life changing.
it is extremely life changing. And it's life changing, and there's a whole lot of emotions that go along with it. Yeah, well,
Please don't cry.
I'm not gonna cry.
Don't.
I've been crying.
Especially because
Like you can't.
Next thing I cry like Felipe. No, guys. So you know, they say ukuthi ngesizulu bathi into engapheli iyahlola. So yeah, so it's official. I'm sure the people that have like our common friends between Kolani and I have probably seen we are not together anymore. Painful as it is, but you know, life happens. So it took me quite a while, a couple of weeks to actually get into terms with it. But yeah, so Ukai officially single. not ready to mingle yet, but me love for somewhere.
I'm happy for you. It's
I'm
so
happy
much
for
great
you.
prospect. Like, as in,
What are
like,
these people?
like the elephant is off the chest.
All I can say, and friend, I hope you're not gonna take offense.
He said that.
You shouldn't.
Good riddance to bad rubbish.
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
I don't
Guys,
think he
he did-
deserved
I-
you. He didn't deserve you.
Oh my God, guys, let's
He
not say
didn't deserve
such
you.
things about other people.
But anyway,
Yes.
look, I'm just more excited about the road that you have ahead. You have the opportunity to cultivate a new experience.
Yes.
That is just
With
beautiful.
someone who deserves
Exactly.
it. Who's more deserving of you.
Yeah, you can give yourself a bit more time in the process as well. Reflect. Way to dissect, way to reshuffle,
And
whatever.
live the life.
Exactly.
You deserve it.
Welcome.
Welcome to singlehood.
Yeah, you can
Guys,
I'll
really.
drink
it's
to
not
that.
that easy. After
Are you not
7
single?
years.
Yeah.
Okay, welcome to Let me take this time
However,
to
our
welcome you.
options-
Let me welcome you to the life of the singles, to singledom, to singlehood. We welcome
Oh my
you.
gosh.
We've been waiting for you.
You're embraced.
Oh my gosh.
So
these
welcome,
people. Okay, so yeah,
to singlehood.
so that's
and I'll drink to that.
that's yeah. So that is the announcement, guys. So yeah, with that all being said, so welcome to Talk with the Tallest. My
Okay.
name is Fisa.
Just a quick
That's
one
Tole.
before we go into that. So Omahlati says, here I was hoping soon I'll be invited to a wedding. Askis no tears here.
No tears here.
Yes, my friend will be having a wedding one day, and I will be coordinating
yeah,
the whole
very
thing.
soon.
But no tears here.
Soon.
Alright, so
I
introduce
am
yourself.
Cinnamon Fisa Sitole.
I am Kotatsa Casey Sitole.
And I'm Andrew Takaranatole.
And
together we are
the tallest. Alright, so for today's topic, as you all saw, we did, advertise it because we knew that it was going to trigger some of you.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people have gone through this, so just be warned and be aware that today's topic will trigger some people.
Yeah.
It will take them back to situations that they're either already in or have gone through. But it also serves as a warning, to a situation that you may find yourself in.
Yeah.
Right? And also, obviously, with us, there's always a spin to it. But the topic for today is intimate partner violence or abuse, right? And the spin is that my friend is the abuser. What happens then, right? But before we get into that, we did a bit of research, a bit of preparation, not prep as in pre-exposure prophylaxis. We did a bit of research, and we just wanted to share, some of the things that we found about abuse, right? Especially in intimate relationships, right? So the first thing, obviously, is that abuse in relationships is any behavior or pattern of behavior that is used to coerce, dominate, or isolate the other partner. It is the use of any form of power that is imposed by one partner over the other to maintain control within the relationship, right? And then now we're gonna go through some of the, the different types of abuses. But obviously, this is not everything.
Just before we go there, did we put out the disclaimer?
We do.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. We did.
So-
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
I might have left it.
So I think the most common one that and it's much more visible. In the minute you start to speak about abuse or GBV, it would be the physical abuse. Obviously, the hitting, the choking, the slapping, the burning, the shoving, using of any weapons, physically or otherwise, and restraining maybe a partner. So that I think is a very common one.
Yes.
It's common, and it's mostly seen in the public.
Dangerous.
That is the most prevalent. Okay, maybe not the most prevalent one. That is the most visible one that is seen, and you know, it's I guess it's the most obvious one as well, because you know, if your partner slaps you, you can't question it.
And I think it's, in as much as I think it's not, I won't say recognized, but not a lot of members of our community go and report such things. So it's not actually put down in its form. It forms part of the statistics.
Yeah.
It will always be the females that are victims to physical abuse. And I mean, personally, I've had a friend who's been, two friends actually, they've been in very physical relationships. You understand?
Gay friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
it's more common than we think.
The stigma of going to the police station and saying, okay, and they're thinking, okay, you're a male.
Yeah.
Not to Dr. Shire. What do you mean Dr. Shire?
Because
Exactly. So yeah.
Right, and then the second one is isolation, which is restricting freedom, controlling contacts with friends and family, access to information, and participation in groups or organizations. Like if your partner forbids you from going out, you know, or forbids you from going to church, you know, things like that can, you know, allude to abuse, right?
Yeah.
Locking up in a room, restricting mobility, monitoring telephone calls when your partner is always on, checking your phone, checking who you're calling, checking who you're texting, checking your social media. That is isolation.
Okay, just a quick one before we proceed. Umpo says that the sound, is it my phone or Anivakali? So I'm not sure.
We'll try to speak up.
Let me just try.
The volume, the mic volume.
Sorry. Okay, we are. We'll try and speak up.
Speak louder.
Apologies. Do you want to continue?
Okay, so just for those who missed it, we started with physical abuse and then isolation, which is another form of abuse, and then the third one,
psychological and emotional abuse. Yeah, constantly criticizing, ridiculing family, friends, past, trying to humiliate or degrade, lying, undermining self-esteem.
Lying. Sure, that's hectic.
Yeah, undermining self-esteem, misleading someone about the norms and values of the LGBTQ plus communities in order to control or exploit them, and the silent treatment where it's used regularly as a power play, making you feel rejected and excluded, thus creating emotional distance. That's a big one. That's a big one, actually.
You know, especially, I mean, what springs out here for me is definitely the line.
Okay, somebody's saying that the sound is not stable.
Yeah, Matlantz is also saying the sound is stable.
Can you guys hear us now? Are we audible? Just let us know.
Audible.
Same thing. I can tell you goes
So I'm not sure what the problem is.
Maybe it's my phone.
It's your phone.
Shall we move it closer?
Let's move it closer.
The last time we had mics.
No, we didn't.
We have had mics.
We have.
Okay.
We are not deaf, guys. Oh damn.
Oh, so life would not be life if there wasn't a bit of humor.
Yeah, so guys, even though this is a very serious topic, you know, we will try and make light of the situation. Obviously, that
we are not undermining it.
We're not
downplaying.
We're not downplaying it. It is very serious, but we just want to be light as well. You know. Right. So the next one.
So the next one would be then stalking and harassing behavior. So following. Why are you laughing, Red?
Stalking is real, guys.
It's real.
I have a personal story about stalking.
Have you been stalked?
I've been stalked.
By someone?
Yes.
Someone you were with?
Yes.
Like someone you were dating?
Oh, yes.
Someone you were having sexual intercourse with?
Yes. Someone I was exchanging bodily fluids with was stalking me.
Okay. So, stalking, the following, turning up at work, or house, parking outside repeated phone calls. No, yeah, my repeated phone calls. You guys are
Wonderful, they
making
can
me
hear
seem,
us now.
You guys are making me seem bad.
Repeated phone calls. But if the person is picking up and you're speaking to them, I don't
that's
think
not
that's
stalking.
stalking.
I think if somebody say if you're not if you don't want to speak to somebody and they keep calling you and they keep calling you and they keep calling you,
That's
and
a
this has
problem.
happened as well. I think we spoke about it with that married guy from that place. He just kept calling and kept calling and kept calling and kept calling, and then eventually, because he realized that I didn't want to take his calls, he used a different number, and as soon as I answered that number, he's like, "Oh, come in. Why are you ignoring my calls?" So stalking, it is a form of stalking, or abuse.
Wow. So okay, so it would be then the repeated calls or emails to victim or a family. Do you have you guys ever had that?
That has
To
happened to
family
me as
and
well.
friends and colleagues.
Calling friends,
Family and colleagues.
Anyway. No, continue, please.
So you guys have had those things in
No,
your
he
life?
says we can
So
hear
is
us
this-
research.
So is this the whole dating scenario? Is this what I'm getting into? Right now, the stalking
no, but
and the
I
calling?
think your current partner is
just
also
need to be careful.
can also do the very same. You know people
Yeah,
that track your
this
movements.
is not exactly.
You know, they might give you a credit card just so that they can see your spending pattern.
Yeah.
You know, all those kind of things. They can try and locate
Mina,
where you
yes.
are and
They
all those
must
kind
give
of
me the
things.
credit card and check my spending patterns.
Because
So kind.
that's what's happened before. I mean,
Okay,
I've
yes.
experienced that.
All right, and then the next one is threats and intimidation, right? Now, threats and intimidation, this is threatening to harm partner, self, right? So you threaten to harm your partner or yourself, or others, children, family, friends, pets. You know, I've heard of people doing really crazy things. Now, I have a dog,
Totally.
right? And then now I'm in a
Imagine.
relationship, and this boy,
They want to step
they want to, do something to my dog.
Mina,
I mean, that's horrible.
I would help you.
Don't say that. Okay, threaten to make reports to authorities that jeopardize child custody, immigration or legal status, threatening immigration or threatening with immigration or legal status.
Friend, you're an abuser.
Okay, yeah, ne? Go rough. Agumandi up. Threatening to disclose HIV status. This is very serious.
Yeah.
Threatening to reveal sexual orientation to family. I've gone through this.
Okay.
To friends, neighbors, and or employers.
Oh.
Sure.
Yeah. Good real out here.
Rough.
Good real.
Yay.
However your options.
However your options.
So the next one would be economic abuse,
Okay.
controlling or stealing money, fostering dependency, making financial decisions without asking or telling a partner.
Wow. What a difficult.
But
So,
but
guys, are
the
you
other
saying that
form
this
of
is-
financial abuse is actually giving your partner money so that you can actually track the spending and to track ukuthi bakuphi. Guys, I have witnessed this. Linda,
That is That is not maybe yes.
abuse.
It's not abuse.
Why is it
Friend, it's abuse.
No, look, it just means your partner is crazy, but it's not necessarily abuse.
it is abuse.
No,
Why are you tracking or it's stalking?
Because no last time.
What? Just because I am being offered
But, okay,
to live
so
the life.
quick comment. Not me looking at Andrew, like when you talk about
Woo, Matlati, leave the spice at home. Leave the spice at home.
All right, the next one. Babe.
Oh, what's the name? Andrew
sexual
was
abuse.
the sexual abuse. Okay,
yeah.
forcing sex or specific acts, ne? Pursuing into unwanted sexual behavior.
Pressurizing.
Pressurizing and unwanted sexual behavior.
Criticizing performance.
That's abuse, guys.
Criticizing performance.
No.
It could be.
But you can have a constructive conversation about it.
Yeah,
So
I
I
think.
don't know how that could be misconstrued as abuse.
I think
Guys,
I
I
think
just
what-
came
what-
out of a relationship.
What
yeah?
springs out for me here is the pressurizing.
Yeah, pressurizing into
unwanted
wanted sexual
sexual
behavior.
Guys, you are making me really think a lot.
But some people
But
also
maybe
want
this
to.
is the perfect time to have this
Yes, let's
conversation.
have like it's
you know,
something
as
that
you are
we
coming
can
out of the
open up.
relationship and hopefully
Because
going into another one.
There's obviously there's quite a few there's quite a few things that I do identify with here.
Yeah.
And now I'm trying to think, Uti, was I the abuser or was he the abuser?
And that's fine.
I think it's a point of reflection as well.
Exactly.
You know, it's
I
not
mean,
just for you.
It's better to call yourself out than be called out, or
Because I do. I'm not gonna lie.
Wait, he's not done.
Oh,
the last one.
Yeah. Okay, last one.
The last one is property destruction. This is very common.
Yeah.
This is very common, and we just brush it off as she's crazy or he's crazy, right? Destroying mementos, breaking furniture or windows, throwing or smashing objects, cell phones, trashing clothes or other possessions.
No, that's
nothing.
No, like I'm
if Trooper, it means
like, no. Trooper in a sense of Gucci. I didn't want to
talk it out.
I didn't want to talk about these things here. Like
but now you have the opportunity. But if you're not ready, it's okay.
I mean, obviously, because of the journey that I'm going through from this point on. Okay, it didn't involve him, obviously, in anyone, so it's fine. So I'm not. No.
Do you think whatever actions may be influenced by the next person?
But friends,
I'm just saying. I'm just asking. No, I'm just asking. Guys, this is possible.
You know that they were influenced.
Before we continue, because we do not plagiarize here, I just wanted to say that this information was obtained from the Vanderbilt University Medical Center Health and Wellness Information Portal, which can be found on www.vumc.org. Health, wellness, news, resource articles, types, abusive relationships. So if you also want to read more on this, you can go into that site. Or just Google it.
Just Google. So, yeah, but guys, I think, Mina, I resonate with a whole lot of these situations here. Isolation could have been a problem.
Were you isolated?
Can you stop? Emotional abuse, I think.
Emotional abuse.
All right, talk about it.
We're not.
You're not going deeper into it.
I think it's not today.
Okay.
Some
I
other
think.
day.
I mean, I have certainly. I don't know if I have been a perpetrator, but I've definitely been a victim of stalking.
So you don't know if you've been a perpetrator?
I'm not sure.
Sure, because
I'm not sure.
And
I'm not ruling it out. I'm not ruling
yes,
it.
yes,
Yeah, I'm not ruling it out.
he
So
would not say if you are.
maybe it's something. It's something that I need to reflect on deeper, right? But the stalking, the lying, what is the other one that I mentioned? Or being threatened, with being exposed.
Oh
And all of that.
Yeah.
And obviously these are some things that your partner knows that I secret or you're keeping them close to your heart, and now they just
which would compromise you,
knowing that it's going to compromise you. But just to read some comments, Makati says, coercion is a form of sexual abuse. Someone saying to you, so you're not sexually attracted to me just because you said no, manipulating you into giving into unwanted sexual activity. Manipulation is a big one. In fact, manipulation sort of it falls on all those categories.
Emotional, psychological and
emotional abuse.
And they do say that abusers start here, right? They start
in the mind.
And there are different levels. Obviously we're not as versed on that. Maybe we need to get a psychologist to talk about that. But there are different levels.
To have Liko bottom on.
Exactly. Maybe Liko, if he's here,
if you can see us,
he can provide.
We would love to hear what you have to say.
But then, okay, so the twist of this, right? I think we've all established we may have been victims. We may have been victims or perpetrators. Edric.
Or both.
Or both, yes. Because also, abusers also abuse, hurt people. So, what then do you do?
Wait, can I just go into mine?
Into? Yeah, sure.
So, I have experienced being abused, and I have also been a perpetrator. I think, looking back, several occasions, which I can say, whew. Yeah. I don't think I want to go deep into things, especially about the abuse part myself. But it became a very dark moment, and the things that were mentioned resonate. You can just see it, categorically, very systematically coming through. This is how it started, then progressed onto this, and then progressed onto that, because it started with the psychological and emotional abuse, which was manipulative, and it developed onto the silent treatments, then moved on to the sexual manipulation, and then it became physical, and just at the brink when it became physical was when I was like, or I'm dead.
I think, when you mention it, I think I have also become or have found myself in a situation where I was a perpetrator. However, I think at that point, it was after a lot of abuse had been, done onto me, right? And now, remember when you're in a toxic relationship, it's toxic because it's poisonous, right? So when you're poisoned, you're poisoned. So you will act in a poisoned way, right? It takes someone who is not in that environment, who is not of that environment, to say, but hold up, this is actually not okay, right? This is not how you should relate to someone. This is not how you should treat someone, right? But now when you've been in that toxic relationship environment for a long time, you are of that environment. You actually now breathe into that, and you are part of the toxicity, right? And one incident that I can think of was, an incident in Cape Town. I was there with my boyfriend, and we had a big blow up. He was not physical, but he was verbally abusive, right? He was saying mean things, and I reacted violently, right? And so the reaction, I didn't beat him up, I just pushed him, right? But anything could have happened. He could have fallen and hit, the table, or, anything could have happened. But I reacted violently. And I think that, for me, counts as a time where I have been a perpetrator.
Well, I've been a perpetrator and a victim, and I guess it's possible. I don't know, it's possible, but it was at the same time.
Simultaneously.
At the same time, yes. I won't say which relationship it was, whatever. Well, my friends would possibly know. There was a time, not so long ago, I kind of sort of, whoever I was with at the time, had a band-aid on not so long ago. They probably do not know this now, but now they're going to find out. So there's a time we went to like a dinner, came back evening. I was not impressed about behavior, your mood, and when we got home, it was a bit, I'm not a violent person, guys. I'm really not a violent person, and that's why I'm saying that at that point I felt like I was the victim. I'm not a violent person. So because of the altercation that we had at that time, and obviously and because I could see where it was going, I had to push him, and once I pushed him, he banged his head against the the wall. But him coming back from banging against the wall was him coming back with a fist and hitting me. You understand? And I think then after that, then the later or the day after, now me, I don't know if he was remorseful. I can't remember if he was remorseful, but I was remorseful. Well, not really remorseful. I felt ashamed. I was like, I can't believe I'm here where I said to people, you should never stay in such situations, and I can't believe I'm here, you know, and having to be there, and the following day having to have a birthday celebration, having to act like everything was okay, and now I wasn't okay from the onset, from the morning until the end of whatever. But I was not okay because I felt like, okay, now my point is that I felt like it was my fault. If I hadn't pushed him and he would not have banged his head against the wall, he would not have came back with a fist, having to hit me, well, and then obviously because he's a sissy, and then
So I'm so glad that you just said that, and I think before just going into this comment, I just want to say my version of being a perpetrator. I think the most fresh one is the one from last weekend.
Okay.
Where I was with my partner.
Yay.
And
What's going on? Okay.
So,
like, I'm shooting, like, guys, yo, this is new to me, all of this.
So, you know, and I was aggravated by a different situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, where somebody was literally tormenting me. The person was literally incepting in my mind and trying to get me upset, all which ended up being a result of me responding to the poor guy, you know, negatively.
Okay.
And that was one of the reasons why I walked away from that situation, and I was like, let me just go sleep, and because I was upset.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to cool down. And I think the biggest thing, you know, was me reacting to my boyfriend in that way. You know, it was uncalled for, and I felt he had a part in it just because he's a very nice person.
Okay.
You know, where a person is whispering in my ears, holding, I want your boyfriend. I am going to have your boyfriend. I'm going to do this. You know, like, guys.
Oh.
You know,
when was this happening?
Now it's told on.
All on the same table, guys. I was literally being tormented on the very same table that we were sitting on. You know, by someone that I consider to be a friend that I'm trying to introduce.
To your other friend.
Exactly.
What a wonderful, what a difficult.
And you know, yes, boy came back. You know, I ended up having to apologize to him because I saw my errors.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful to you guys for actually pointing it out, for to know what I was doing was wrong. Because had that not surfaced, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to see or to reflect on what the issue is.
Which is a question to everyone. Do you actually call your friends out?
But before we
get there, can we just read some comments? All right.
But there's another one on top there. I don't know if you missed it.
Sorry,
No, it's Mahlatsi.
No,
that's Mpo. Oh no. Okay.
We're ready for us.
Mpo says, hey, you're on another level. The whole research. I can hear now. Okay. Mahlatsi says, no, we read all
There's one here, and I don't know if you saw it. And
no,
it says,
I've read. Oh,
and
that's
don't
the one I
forget,
was
sometimes
about to read.
abuse. Oh, is it there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, great.
It says, don't forget, sometimes abusers can and will use triggers against you so that you become a perpetrator. Shit.
I think that's very true, because I think I won't mention which one, but one of my exes is very he's very privy to information it's not like I've ever had to hide to a lot of people. It's okay. I've got depression issues, mental issues.
Yeah.
So he knew
mental health issues.
Sorry, mental health issues. Mental health issues. So he knew what would happen if he did this and where it would actually lead me to.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So he's basically pressing,
triggering.
And triggering as much
If I don't know
as
what
he
manipulate a situation to count
negatively.
He's basically curating a situation, knowing that okay, if I do this, he's going to do this. So this is how he's going to react.
And hi, Patanani.
Hey, Patanani, we're looking forward
to our
rendezvous,
our visit on your show.
And then Masheti then says, and then apologize to them for your part. Oh, and then you apologize to them for your part, only to be met with them playing the victim, further engraving the thought that it's your fault they reacted that way. Woo! Wow. Okay, so now, I mean, Andrew, you touched on how we reacted when the situation, unfolded during our weekend away. We had a lovely time in Bali.
Oh my Lord!
We had a beautiful time. That's why I'm so shocked. I'm like, this happened?
It did.
Hey.
It's just that, look, I don't want to make everybody's experience unpleasant.
Sure.
You know, so I decided to deal with the situation in a more isolated manner, and I dealt with the person directly.
Exactly.
But still, the next day when we went out,
he
repeated the very same thing because he was sitting next to me. And I'm like, what the hell is going on with this boy? Is he mental?
Yeah. Not mental.
You don't use those words, guys.
No, I don't mean it I don't mean mental as in, you know.
But we had a beautiful
But I'm just saying that,
Yeah.
you know, he was just playing mind games all to trigger me, you know, to a situation where I got aggressive.
And the boys in Durban are beautiful. Guys.
The boys, guys in Durban. Oh my God.
Yay!
When did that happen?
Yay!
When did that happen? 58.
We went to 58, guys.
The pride of Durban. There we were standing, and this boy.
Okay, Sabelo is also saying something about the sound. The sound is low today.
The sound
is in my phone.
Why is it low? Guys, is it like
we're not sure what's happening.
We're not sure what's happening,
guys, we're sorry for the sound. We don't really know.
We'll
what's
try
happening.
and speak louder and closer to the phone. I think we were getting relaxed, and then. But anyway, so this boy comes up to me and he demands that I kiss him.
No, friend, he gave us his drink.
Oh, he made me hold his drink so that he could go out and smoke, and then came back and demanded that I kiss him. And he kissed me.
Yeah.
And I liked it. I kissed the boy and I liked it. Yeah. But anyway, so now going back to the topic. Sorry, before we get derailed. Okay, okay, Patanani says this topic is really touching. I was once in an abusive relationship, and I was young back then. What's funny is that I was always protecting him to my friends and family. Jeez. Okay, cool. We are here. So I guess the sound is back.
Yeah. That makes sense, hey?
Yeah. You always protect.
But that's
them.
the thing. The victim always wants to protect the abuser.
Yeah.
You always want to
you want to protect the your relationship. You want to protect them because obviously also by exposing them you're exposing yourself, right? And there is this thing that it sort of relates or translates to you being weaker.
Yeah.
Right. And you obviously want to protect your own reputation and what you're standing.
But I think one thing I've realized, Wuti, in having been in a relationship for such a long time, reputation is pointless. If you're going to live in a situation where you are unhappy and you're abused, and you could be in a relationship for 10 years and you're abused in all categories, whether it's emotional, financial, and otherwise, and you still stay and you still protect this person from abangan mako, you still he still looks like the knight in shining armor and Yako. But at the end of the day, monthlies need to, you still go back to the same thing. So at that point,
there is no point. There is no point because I mean, at the end of the day, the both of you know the truth, right?
Yeah.
The world might not know the truth. Your friends, your family, they might not know the truth, but the both of you, you know the truth, and you have to live with the truth every day.
I don't know if you guys have seen
just a quick one.
Okay, friend.
I think when you're mentioning that, I remember a moment back. Yeah. Okay, let me just be frank about it. So, a particular fight broke out between me and my then abuser or partner. And in that moment, it got me so depressed. You know, he had gotten so much into my mind, and he had isolated me so much from everything that was happening, you know, in and around me, my family, my friends, that on the day that he said, "I'm breaking up with you," I just went,
So he broke up with you?
He had on that day.
Yeah.
And then I remember I left work, guys, on that day, and the first thing that I did, I went straight into the paracetamol cabinet. And I started drinking one by one until I got to about, I think I remember, almost 20 or something paracetamol pills. You know, and
I remember that.
I think, I don't know what I did, whether I sent a message to Casey or I spoke to Casey on the phone or something like that.
You sent a message and then you switched off your phone.
And I just found myself lying in bed. Next thing I know, he's there at the place. And, you know, he apologized. You know, he did certain things to help me be okay again. And I basically went back into the whole situation.
Yeah.
He's a nurse, right? No, not him.
No, it's Niger.
Niger.
Nothing against Nigerians. We love them. Okay, and then Mashati says, or responding to Patanani, he says, they always say, protect me from your family and friends so that you are isolated and can only rely on the abuser only.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, they also blame you for your friends and family's
reactions,
behavior, right? Especially, you know, with this whole protect me thing. If your family, obviously now, if your family finds out or your friends find out, I'm not gonna pretend like I have not pretended, right? And now there we are at a setting, and I am not trying to be friends with nobody. I will not, you know, I will not be held responsible, but you will be held responsible for my actions, because why is your friend acting up, like, you know, why is he acting like that? What does he know? What did you tell him? Now it becomes, what did you do?
And then you are now guilty. And then if violent with you, uzoshaywa again.
Yeah.
That day.
Mashati says, please don't cry.
Why are you saying that I shouldn't cry?
Because you were talking about your abuser.
My abuser.
Now, getting back into the topic and, you know, the twist, right? So, we saw how you were reacting, right, on the trip. And we called you out right there and right then, right? But it's not very often that you see your friends being abusive to their partners, right? I remember a situation, we were at a party and this kid came with a friend of a friend, right? And the kid, but you will recognize the story.
Okay.
Now, the friend came with this boy, and this boy disappeared, right? And in him disappearing, he was found to be kissing some other guy, right?
Okay.
Great. So now the friend of the friend of a friend starts beating this guy right in front of us. Right? He starts beating him. And we were perplexed. We tried, and eventually he was stopped, but, you know, thankfully he wasn't my friend, and, you know, I guess his, you know, the friend that he came through started talking to him and, you know, getting him to, you know, to see reason and everything, and he eventually left that boy there. Actually, no, he didn't. No, he left him and then came back to fetch him, because we're like, no, I'm not leaving you here so that you can continue with your whoring ways, in inverted commas. But in that moment, you know, we were a group of friends, you know, some more friends to others than others. But we were a group of friends, and we were there witnessing the abuse of another guy, right? Now, I don't know what the conversation between his friend and him were, but what would that conversation be? Or what should it be, right? Because I remember we took the boy, you know, to comfort him and, you know, to try and, you know, tell him it's going to be okay, and you know, trying to get him to forget about what just happened. Because obviously it's not just, you know, the physical abuse, but like now the embarrassment of being beaten in front of total strangers, right? Yeah. So we started talking to him, getting him to calm down, you know, comforting him and everything. But what conversation was had with the perpetrator, and what conversation should we have with the perpetrator? And you know, have you been in a situation where your friend is a perpetrator, and you can see it? Because in both your situations where you were perpetrators, you kept it between the two of you, and no one really saw. So I can't really say, okay, no, I would do this, because I'm never really.
Not really perpetrator because I was perpetrated.
Okay, but sharp.
What?
Okay, but we called you out.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, is that enough? Do we talk about it there and leave it there?
I think, you know what, because there was a remedial action to the situation. I think it might help to soothe the situation a bit temporarily, momentarily, sometimes.
Okay, so now the situation that you're now referring to is a physical situation, right?
Okay,
where there's physical abuse.
Well, okay, are we referring to the one where there was the physical abuse?
No, I'm talking in general.
In general.
And it doesn't have to be a once-off, you know, event, you know, something that happens once off, where you actually know and see and know that your partner or your friend's your partner is abusing their boyfriend, and it's a continuous thing.
No, look, I think I would not just stand and let it happen. I would never. As much as I appreciate it not happening with me, whether I'm the perpetrator or the victim, I would never accept for anybody to be abused, even especially more physically. But I think that we tend to shy away from the emotional or the psychological, even if it does happen in front of us.
But the thing is, I think
we tend to shy away from it a lot. You know, where we just because there's this cringing moment. No, but this is my friend. What do I say?
No, sorry. I don't think it's about this is my friend. It's about saying, you know, this saying,
yes.
So the problem starts there. Masinkala uguba awkward. Awkward.
Yeah.
It's not that we can't see it. There's something going on there. And then, because Tina, we are sitting on this end of the table.
Yeah.
We're thinking, hey, okay, then let them.
But if I could just jump into that, I think also depending on the degree of your friendship, it depends on the level of comfort that you would have in calling your friend out. You know, with the two of you guys, it was easier because of the level of relationship that we have.
So I came for dinner. Oh my god.
So if it was somebody who has, a much more removed relation to me, that is a bit further than what and who you are. It would be a bit. It would be a bit difficult for you to try and reprimand that person, because also you're trying to save the whatever form of relationship you guys have, because you're going to tiptoe. You will tiptoe around that situation, but I still expect some form of reprimanding to take place.
No, Tina, as your friends, we will reprimand.
But
the thing is,
but I'm talking about the proximity.
No, it's fine. Tina's is open reprimand, but having to look in from the outside, we always skeptical, because it depends on how long. The other thing is, which it depends with how long have you been with this.
But why? Why should it depend on anything?
It shouldn't.
Here you are witnessing. You are witnessing your friend abuse their partner. Why should it depend on how long you've known or how long they've been together? It's wrong.
I'm just saying, Jorge, look, sometimes the reality is different than what the ideal should be, or what the actual practice should be. You know, people are afraid of getting involved in other people's situations.
But that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to move away from that.
Correct.
Because people are dying, right?
Yes.
People commit suicide.
Yes.
Right? People, I mean, why should we wait, right? And what I also find, and I'm also guilty of this, is we deal with the victim. We try to I'm so sorry he did this to you. You know, why are we not talking to this guy and saying, why are we not going to the guy and saying, why are you doing this to this poor guy? Yes, granted, we need to deal and help, the victim.
Yeah.
But I think we need to do a bit more to call out the perpetrator.
And I think, in as much as Penny Libiane was attacked with approach and everything, but that's where she was coming from. No, not when she cried.
No, not Penny. Okay, which
it was Penny, and there's a couple of people who actually jumped on the wagon or e-wagon.
Is this babes?
Not your babes.
Oh, okay.
It's not your
because I thought you were confusing Penny and
no.
On which
remember when that whole there was a Twitter thread about calling out abusers and so that is what they were trying to do. And obviously because of
to create a culture of calling out.
Society that is not.
It's not ideal.
No, and it doesn't. It's not a heterosexual. It's not a homosexual thing. It's something that
it's a social issue.
Yeah,
it's social. Then so now, as I figure to the point where one gets called out, and one withdraws and thinks about what they've been called out for. You get what I'm saying? Because when you, Andrew, you are called out for saying, you're called out to say, okay, but Andrew, friend, like, what are you doing? You know, your first reaction, obviously, you're going to be defensive. You're going to argue your case, and possibly not a lot of people are like you. Which after having to do all of this, then they'll come to their senses and think, okay, I'm in the wrong. Let me apologize. Let me speak to my friends and say, okay, guys, and I understand, and I apologize, and I'll do right. You understand? A majority of people, when they are being called out, it's seen as an attack. And once they see it as an attack, then obviously their natural instinct is to do what? To be at war.
I get that, but
it's not a culture.
But we are still considering
justifying.
We are still considering and rationalizing
their response.
For the perpetrator. Are you going to read the comment or should
I think let me do that.
Okay.
So Umahlati says it's tricky, but really an eye opener. Funny how you're the broken one, but I'm the one that needed saving. Rihanna once said, I wouldn't know what to say to the perpetrator, but just do better.
So this is one thing that I've always wanted to ask, right? And to be quite honest, sometimes I feel like I'm on this side and the other side, I'm on the other side, right? And it's basically the thing of cancel culture, which is very prevalent now, especially on social media, right? Where someone is exposed for being an abuser or whatever, we cancel him, right? Or we cancel her. I don't know how I feel about that, because as a Christian, there's redemption, there's forgiveness and all of that.
Yeah.
So cancel culture does not necessarily resonate with my beliefs as a Christian.
It should be
right?
more rehabilitative.
It should be more rehabilitative, right? However, some people are non-repentant.
That's
You
the
know,
Yeah.
some people have no remorse, and I think that's where cancel culture would then
Would
step
apply,
in. Like,
yeah.
okay, you are cancelled. So what is your feeling? What is the general feeling here?
about in
Cancel culture,
I mean, I genuinely,
especially in light of abuse and abusers.
so obviously, if you are
Yes.
but I genuinely think, Wuti, no one should be cancelled on any level or any term, because if you understand Wuti, and you understand grace and all that,
Yeah.
so you'd be able to understand Wuti, and even the point of Wuti, once this person gets to the point of saying, Wuti, you know what, I repent, I am guilty. You understand?
Yeah.
I think that's what we are lacking, Kwanaman, is that this person doesn't come to the fore and publicly say,
I'm
"Oti,
guilty."
guys, I'm guilty. Yes, I'm guilty because of A, B, and C, right? Maybe I was young, maybe I was naive, maybe I didn't know what I was doing. Give us a story, a whole, PR stunt. But fact is that you are coming to us and you are saying that you are guilty. And when you come to us, when you say, Abantu, that's why, when God said, I'm creating men, I'm going to create them in my own liking, ne? In my own image, right? Sorry, in my own image. And when Unkulunkulu has created in his own image, the minute you step and you say, guys, I'm guilty,
Yeah.
Tina, asina choice
But to forgive.
to forgive, friend.
So
And wait. And you may say, Konamanje, Wuti, I'm not going to forgive, I won't be able to forgive, blah, blah, blah. But because it's not within your nature, but it's within your maker's nature,
yeah.
you will be able to forgive. And you don't know how you are forgiving, but because you are not made in your own image, but you are made in an image of the maker.
Yeah.
And the maker will allow you to get to the point of forgiving and to have grace upon
Okay.
this person.
Now let's
And you
put
will,
it.
wait, friend. And you will have grace, but
Preach
you are waiting. No, I'm not
Yes,
giving you
Shumael.
no
Yes,
stop.
Shumael.
And yes,
Shumael, I'm Shumael.
but
I'm
in
joking. I'm joking.
We
Come
love
back.
you. Come back. Come
And
back.
was it
Finish your
Shumaila
point.
for who, what, when, I'm Shumail. But honestly, it's
Please finish your
within.
point.
It's with what I'm saying is that it's within the human nature. When someone comes to you and repents and says, I acknowledge my wrongdoings.
Yeah.
You, Andrew, in as much as you have no choice but to forgive this person.
Because you yourself are not,
Perfect.
faultless.
So now, let's take it to the non-Christian platform.
Okay, before we get to that,
Let's read the comments.
Mashati says, and another pandemic that seems to become prevalent on social media, we cancel perpetrators and not offer any help in them rehabilitating themselves to become better individuals. And I agree with this,
But friend, you can't offer help to somebody who doesn't
who
want
does not want help. And what I wanted to, sorry babe, before you get to the, and what I wanted to ask, I'll put it on the floor, is that, is there anything, obviously we're talking about abuse now, but is there any sin or is there any perpetration? Is that a word? Is there anything that someone can do to you that is beyond redemption, that is beyond forgiveness, that you will not forgive? Because I witnessed, a friend of mine who was accused of a very heinous crime, right?
Okay.
And his Christian friends, right? Literally distanced themselves,
Pushed him to the fire.
pushed him to the fire.
Yeah.
On social media, it was they issued media statements, and I was triggered because they did that to me too when I came out. But obviously being gay is not a sin in my in my relationship with God.
Oh, that's
But they did that, and And I'm like, okay, so does this mean that you're saying that this person is beyond rehabilitation? This person is beyond reproach? Is this person lost? Are we throwing him to the wolves to be eaten?
And that's exactly where I wanted to come in.
Yeah.
To say, look, in as much as yes, a person has done wrong, right? Yes, we may want to forgive them. This is the Christian culture. This is, the prerequisites or whatever. In terms of redemption and all of that.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at it from a different perspective, where now this person does not know the relationship or understand the relationship that you may have with God or forgiveness in that form. And this perpetrator has literally it could be sometimes years, it could be months, it could be just once, where somebody has just done something to you that you just cannot see, any form of redemption from, or a way forward from, But I also look at the point of some people just don't even come. They're not even remorseful.
Yeah.
For what they've done.
No, I feel to differ.
But may I just continue
Okay,
and finish
okay,
quickly?
sure.
Thank you. However your options.
I wish we should
But some people just are not even remorseful. They don't care about what they've done to you. They don't see any wrong. For them, whatever action they did is justified to them, right? In as much as you may have so many cancelling voices in and around you, you still choose to stand your position, stand your ground, and say, I cannot that. The point is, this is what I see. This is what I choose. So so the way that I did whatever I did to this person, they deserved it.
So in my closing remarks.
Wait, before you close,
it's
time to close.
Guys, wake up, so
it's very
But yeah, Machati says, but we don't offer in the first place cinnamon. We cancel them we cancel them before even verifying that the story is real or just a troll.
Yeah, that's true.
I would rather I would rather be corrected in that situation than be seen to be endorsing someone who might have been but listen. I would rather be corrected further than be seen to be someone who is supporting somebody who may have in actual fact done the act.
Yeah.
But nobody would die if you don't say anything.
Exactly. You could also just keep quiet unless it's required of you. Unless you have a social responsibility to respond, right?
Okay.
And this brings me back to, my friend who was, there were media statements, right? Like those people are not even public figures. They didn't need to publicly denounce, they didn't need to do all of that, right? Or what they could have done is simply say, we believe the victim. We do not approve of this guy's actions, but we also believe in this and this and that, and we do not cancel him but they just cancelled him.
They're literally just trying to distance themselves.
I'm not
from the
disagreeing with
situation.
you at all, but okay, I do not want to take it there, but as we take it there, if you look at the story of the adulterous woman, right? When she needed to be stoned, right?
Yeah.
Before even the word came, Guti, he who has no sin cast the first stone.
Yes.
Right? So they were about to stone the adulterous woman, mainly because they want to hide behind the stone, right? The stone being issued. Okay, I'm preaching. But the stone, can you not do that? But the stone symbolizes the fact that I'm hiding behind the stone. I have my own wrongdoings.
Yes.
Right? But if I don't throw the stone, then people are going to question me, and you are going to be exposed.
Yes.
So the media statement, it's just basically the stone to say, okay, I'm going to stone this one because I have my
oh,
wrong.
my friend.
Yeah, no.
It's a revelation.
Preach. But
Whoa.
because honestly, that's what I honestly. So them.
So actually the public or the trolling, as Mashatsi says, is to protect, is to hide,
Exactly.
is to mirror your own.
Exonerate yourself above the situation.
My goodness.
So that's all I'm saying. And what I'm saying is that it is.
It is a smoking mirror.
So I'm closing remarks on is that I mean, at the end of the day, if you are going to throw the stone, you must be careful that you don't live in a glass house.
Yes.
Because if you are going to throw stones where they don't need to go, as of we are times 2, and forgetting what you live in a glass house.
Yeah. My closing remark would be, I think, in as much as you don't want to throw stones or whatever, abuse is abuse, and you need to call it out as and when it happens, right? Especially when you are in your own personal space, right? You need to call it out. If you can see it, you need to call it out, because it could also be that the person doesn't know that they're an abuser. They don't know that their behavior is abusive, right? So you need to call it out, because you don't know what they're going to do the next day. They might just go too far, and you would have had a chance to stop it. You would have had a chance to save a life. You would have had a chance to
save your
protect someone from being damaged further. And because that's what abuse does, guys. It damages people. It damages your self-esteem. It damages your entire psychological being. You start doubting yourself. You start having all these, mental health issues, self-esteem, confidence. It just does so much more than a bruise on the face. You know what I mean? So you need to call it out as and when it happens. Whether it's your friend or somebody that you do not know, call it out and speak it, right? The person might not listen at that point, but what you're saying to them, and use the words, you are an abuser. Because sometimes we try to sugarcoat things, and we're giving people leeway. So don't sugarcoat it, say it as it is, and eventually the person will come right.
Will come right and understand.
Yeah, I think I echo those sentiments.
Yes.
If I may, on my own accord.
But who got the king abuser?
ABUSER.
Oh, I'm responding. I'm responding to nobody.
Okay, so yeah.
No, as I was saying.
As you were closing.
Guys, Cinnamon,
No, me
call him out.
Calling me out as what?
Call
As
him
an abuser. As an abuser.
Call him out, please.
Oh, okay.
You are.
Okay,
I feel abused.
Okay, continue. Fred.
Anyway, as I was saying, I think we need to put we need to have a much smaller net. When it comes to these kind of issues, especially GBV. It's a huge problem.
Yeah.
I mean,
GBV for gay people is
gender-based violence, guys.
But there's no. I mean, if you're the same gender, it's not gender-based violence. It's intimate partner violence.
Okay, fine. But still, we're speaking to the broader, to the broader community and society.
Yes, we are.
Because I don't think this is an isolated thing. So I'm going to look at it from this, and this is always my point of reference nowadays when I look at GBV. What would you do if your sister or your brother was in that very same situation? What would be your response? What would be your response? What would be your actions? So why are you leaving that child that next to you that is not related to you experience a similar situation? So yeah. That's
my God.
word.
And that's it for today. Okay, last comment from Mashatsi. He says, exactly, allow the story to develop before reacting. Unlike reacting at the drop of the hat. I think he's responding to calling people out.
Okay.
And then Tumelo Caleb Makatu. Hey Tumelo. Hope you've enjoyed your first episode of The Tollers. We were with them on the weekend. It's
Oh, hey, Caleb!
Oh, is this?
It's
You
Caleb.
found us.
Ah,
You didn't
you
need-
found
Find us.
However, your options.
However, your options. It's
All right,
okay.
guys. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you so
joining
much
us
for
again.
joining
Thank you.
And yeah,
It was
Do
beautiful.
share the video. You know, you never know who might be helped.
Yeah.
Might be educated.
and they should check out our page.
But
because
still,
I'm
if
yeah,
ever you do think that you need some help, reach out. There are various organizations out
Yeah.
there that can assist you. You know, there's the women's what is
Power.
it? Power. There's power.
Power,
Yes, there's
people.
also Songe Gender Justice.
Yes.
You know, there's also the presidential line.
Yes.
You know, for women and children.
Yeah.
So, guys, please don't just sit back and watch. Be the solution.
All right. One last comment from Mashati.
That's your
Mashati,
problem.
you're a problem. I feel like you're
You are a
abusing.
talker.
He says, abuse is abuse. Call it out, even if you run the risk of losing that person. You might just save a life. Imagine living with guilt because you kept quiet and didn't call out an abuser. Love you all. Good
We
night.
love
Good
you.
night.
On that
Mwah.
note, cheers,
Thank you
guys.
so
Cheers,
much.
guys. See you
Weekend.
again
Responsible
next
weekend.
week. Same time, same place. Have a lovely time.
Yes, we love you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.